our medical students and ophthalmology residents to really embrace this convergence between data science and the biological aspects of medicine is a humanistic aspect that now has to be part of this new technology. We are at the tip of a huge wave, at the tip of an iceberg of machine learning and data science. But we cannot forget, in fact, we have to re-emphasize and make it part of our curricula, the importance of compassion, professionalism, ethics. This has been mentioned before. Communication in a way that doesn't just, we should not communicate like a machine. We need to communicate because we have to never forget why we went into medicine in the very beginning. Work as teams and helping those most in need. In essence, we have to make compassion our way to go forward. From today's multiple talks, you've seen that there are applications in radiology, pathology, and dermatology, and many other talks in this meeting before about why it's important in ophthalmology. And I proudly say that our colleagues at Google have really led the way in the ophthalmology path. But if I look at the literature and review AI publications in ophthalmology, they go back. I mean, again, this is AI used very loosely. And if you look here at this part, the 2016 to 2018, the previous ones are all 5-year publications. These are 2.5 years. And in the 2.5-year period, we have more than doubled the previous 5 years. And I expect this will grow exponentially just from talking to colleagues and seeing how many people now are involved in AI. The leading diseases remain the ones listed here: macular degeneration. Of course, diabetic retinopathy has been hammered and hammered, will continue to be hammered. Corneal topography, glaucoma, etc. And here's a table of possible data where AI has been applied, including the cornea, corneal topography, dry eye, smart lenses, glaucoma, fundus photography, OCT. We'll spend hours talking about all of these, and again, the Google group has done a great job in this. Here's an example of glaucoma. You can look at it in multiple different ways, and I think the holy grail is just by looking at the picture and making diagnosis and knowing what's the likelihood of this patient going blind versus somebody who has a slightly similar picture, but we as doctors are not able to do this except with time. And again, we have people here in this room who are focusing on this problem. This photography, very, very simple, accessible, and can allow us to identify retinal lesions to be able to become the window to health and disease. This is very important, I think. But if you think about it, it's not as easy because the retinas that are retina specific and can also be the window to health and disease. So we are supposed to look at the number of things you can find in it. These are all local problems. Now, if you have, this is a, what do I call it? A blurry window to the health and disease. But for cornea, these are seen by Dr. Paysan and other retinal specialists here. But for a corneal specialist, we don't even see that. We don't look that far inside the eye. And the big question in this, the liaison between the eye and the rest of the body, the retina becoming the true window to the body, is whether we're going to go to OCT or fundus photography. Of course, OCT is more expensive, gives us more data. Beautiful work done by our colleagues at the DeepMind and the Google group about its ability to diagnose, and now it can be used for referral of disease using the system of segmentation. Those of you who have not read this paper, please take note of it. Nature Medicine 2017. Really, probably the key paper in this field now for OCT. And again, this is part of Google, as you all know. And I like the slide from this paper where they showed the OCTs to retinal specialists and to retinal optometrists. We don't have retinal optometrists, I believe, in the US, but outside the US they're present. And when they were given the OCT plus fundus plus all the notes, they did, one individual only did as well as the program. I mean, for the people in this audience, not surprising, but for people who spent 6 years in medical school or pre-med, 7 years sometimes, plus another 3 years in ophthalmology and 2-3 years in retina, to find out that the machine is doing better is really a disappointment. But we're not going to comment on this. We, as we heard everybody saying, the machine is not going to replace us. We need to work together. And we can, as you've seen from the previous data presented by Fred, value of retinal error prediction. It's amazing. We as ophthalmologists look at retinas all our time, all day long, and we can never make a diagnosis except of high myopia or high hyperopia. But this was predicted to about half a diopter. Again, the data have been published very nicely by the Google group in IOVS last year. And attention now, see these lines that you see in normal, in myopia and hyperopia don't match anything we learned in residency programs. Again, it tells us that this is an opportunity to learn more. The challenge is for us to learn what the machine is doing and say, why is it learning this way? How can we make something better from this? And you've just heard, again, the amazing work by the Google group about the cardiovascular risk factors for retinal fundus imaging. Beautiful work, but here I think these attention images point to the vessels. At least we got something right before the machines did. That the vessels tell us about the health of the individual, and I heard a couple of talks about this, and it appeared to me like this is as good a predictor as your cholesterol level and your diet of whether you're going to develop heart disease and how bad it will be. We can look at other issues here. These are all possible things. There are ocular manifestations of systemic disease, uveitis, infectious disease, listed here. These are all things that have not been explored yet, but again, the eye may give us information about them. Non-infectious, endocrine, well, diabetes, okay, thyroid disease, connective tissue disease, vasculitides, hypertension, etc. And I'm leaving these at the end here because now there are some lots of effort, including a mobile app, and there's publication about this in IOVS last year called the UV Master, to allow us to support a diagnosis of uveitis. We look at uveitis and we can barely make a diagnosis. I look at corneal ulcers, I can't make a diagnosis. But the computer probably is much better than us. And this is a photograph taken from that paper here showing this. Finally, another area where we can go from ophthalmology to the rest of medicine is Alzheimer's disease. I forgot how this works, sorry, no pun intended here. But it could be done by either looking at the fundus or at OCT. In this paper, they showed 10 different possible ways, advantages, and highlights, limitations. Again, this paper was published by Liao in Front Aging Neuroscience 2018. And again, we all know about the angiographic findings in the retina as potentially associated with Alzheimer's disease. The deposits of multiple, whether it's tau or whether it's amyloid in the retina, can also be valuable. And in this paper in ophthalmic research, you will see that there seems to be some findings that cannot be necessarily explained by careful fundus photography and OCT. So in summary, I think I'm talking here a general summary about ophthalmology and medicine. There are limitations, of course, to use of AI that you're all familiar with. They are likely to make errors, but it seems they make less errors than human beings. And I really have to go back to medical education, because about 110 years ago, the Flexner report established the biomedical model of education. Prior to that, medicine was all apprenticeships. You go follow a person, and then you call yourself a doctor. Now you have to go so much training to be able to get the education. But this has established the Johns Hopkins model of the 1910 as the biomedical model of education. Today, I think we have a new era of AI and increasing technological pervasiveness. This biomedical science-centric model should be enhanced to incorporate the growing convergence of medicine with engineering, computational science on the one hand, and physical and sciences and artificial intelligence on the other hand. And this would allow the growth of this transdisciplinary convergence in ophthalmology and in medicine to enable increasingly effective and affordable eye care for communities living in diverse urban, rural, and suburban settings worldwide. We have to remember, again, that the knowledge base, this is all building more knowledge on knowledge, and the data is giving us more knowledge. It's only a foundation to facilitate the interpretation of data. The importance of the humanistic elements should never be forgotten. Professionalism, communication, empathy, compassion, respect. And then there are issues. These things you can see here, to get them through regulatory processes like things are learning can be a challenge. And in this meeting we'll learn more about this, especially in the session that Malvina is giving this afternoon. And then there's this black box dilemma, which is always going to be a problem for us to learn, but it can show us how we can improve our outcomes. And then we have to realize that the people here in this room are excited about this technology, but the majority of other people may still be fearful because they are afraid of the unknown. And I think we need to be thinking of this, as you've heard before, these are helpful tools rather than competitive for early referrals and easy diagnosis. Thank you so much for your attention.